you officially resigned from UDA?
No. I've not officially resigned from UDA. To run a government and structures, it depends on the political goodwill of the person in charge. And why I tell you is because, like, if you look at what we have at the national level, we had HELB, for example. You remember, you were around here when the president was deputy president, and he was critical of the government, and basically was only deputy president on paper, but he did not resign.
Everyone knows about the National Youth Service, which is basically a paramilitary training for the youth in Kenya. But there's a new service, or is it really new, called the Moraga Youth Service. I am seated here with Senator Joe Nyutu, that is the Moraga senator, who's going to tell us more about Moraga Youth Service and how different it is from the National Youth Service. Karibu sana Bwana Senator hapa kwa studio zetu.
Thank you very much, Tambi, and just as a caveat, allow me to tell you that I may not speak so much for Moraga County Government because I'm supposed to oversight the county government of Moraga. And so I may not have all the information about Moraga Youth Service because as you know, the senator does not work for or with the county government. But I have, for example, we had a graduation, the county government had a graduation of Moraga Youth Service.
On Sunday.
Those that are on Sunday who had completed their say college course. And so what they do is that the county government, identifies some youths. They give them a job with, I think they do community service, where they are paid, I think, about 400 shillings a day, where 100 goes to the parent, and the youth is left with, I think, 300 Kenya shillings. I may not have all the facts right, because like I've told you, I don't work with the county government. And so the idea is, and then they are not paid all this money. I think there's a portion that is retained by the county government, which is only paid to them at when they are exiting.
Okay.
What
was the reasoning behind giving the parents some money, the 100 bob? And the parents, do they have to be biological parents or guardians as well?
I may not know whether they are biological parents or guardians, but anyway, the governor says parents. I listened to him on Sunday when he was giving his speech, and he said that he was trying to teach the youth about, I think, the fourth commandment, that which says that you honor your
mother and father,
so that your I think your life may be lengthened.
Prolonged,
And so, and also trying, I had him imply that it is also meant to, to grow that particular virtue of taking care of parents, especially at old age. By retaining a part of it, and I'm only saying what I have heard them say, it is to teach the youth to develop a culture of saving. But then, to answer your question, what happens then is that after some time, they are enrolled for, I think, a technical course with NITA, that is National Industrial Training Authority, where then they are equipped with some skills. And so when now they are graduating like they were doing on Sunday, I heard the governor say they pay them 15,000 Kenya shillings and advise them to see whether they can start a business, even though small. And especially with the skill that now they have acquired at NETA, then if it is a purely technical skill, then somebody can spend the 15,000 Kenya shillings to buy some tools of trade to start maybe doing a business or something like that.
How long is the course?
I may not have all the details, but I think it's not a very long course. I don't know what grade they start at, but it's basically a NITA course, a skill-based course. And I don't know how long they serve. So I think the county government can have all the details, but basically, a senator, what I need to know is what the program is doing for the youth and how much is being spent for the same. A senator, that is where my interest is, so that I can see whether there's value for money. But the details, those ones now would be obtained from
the county government.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So as an overseer, does this program make sense? How different is it from the National Youth Service? All the youth from Moraga attend this program as opposed to the national program.
Well, I think as a senator of the great county of Moraga, I think it's a good thing for the youth. Why? Because, and I want to answer your question exactly the way you have asked it. Why? How different is it from the National Youth Service? First of all, you know that admittance into National Youth Service is not automatic. And so there are many youths in Moraga and other counties that may want to join the National Youth Service, but they may not get an opportunity to. So for such youths that have not been able to get admitted to National Youth Service, then this particular program is good for them because it affords them an opportunity to also join now the county youth service. And again, I do not know whether those that join the National Youth Service receive some money at the end of the course. I do not know whether they are paid, but for this one, why I think it's a good effort to at least occupy the youth instead of leaving them out there. I mean, to occupy them, teach them the need for community service. You know, plant and cultivate in them a culture of civic. You know, teach them to at least sacrifice a little of their earnings to go to their parents and acquire a skill. I think it's a good thing, especially for you to not get an opportunity like I've said to join the National Youth Service. The National Youth Service, of course, I think it has better promises, being a national thing and being funded by government. You know, county governments have limited resources. But for those who do not get an opportunity, and that's the point I want to buttress, then there is a good opportunity for them. Rather than you know, just staying at home and wasting away to come and you know, do some community service, earn some money, you know, get a skill, and at the end of it all, get that 15,000 Kenya shillings. It is better than nothing. Yes,
that's very true. We've actually had trainees from the National Youth Service complaining, you know, they're not getting paid. They're supposed to be paid 8,000 per month. So there are problems there. I think it's a bit shaky. Might you be knowing how much it costs to train one person in Moraga, the Moraga Youth Service?
Well, like I've told you, I may not have the details because, you know, it's a wholesome program. You know, there are many things with the training. Of course, there is that department. The administrative costs, probably that is something that I should now get the actual figures, so that then I can be able to see whether it is value for money. But in principle, it's a good program.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, the structures that are there any structures in place to ensure that even when, you know, this county government is out of office, the next one will still, you know, the program will still run smoothly?
Well, to have structures is a difficult thing because just like you see with the national government, basically to run a government and structures, it depends on the political goodwill of the person in charge. And why I tell you is because, like, if you look at what we have at the national level, we had HELB, for example. Now the sitting president has been able to change that and has brought a new funding model. For example, we had NHIF. The sitting president has brought something called SHA. And so I don't think and I can give any guarantees that the future governor will continue that particular program. Because remember, he or she will be running a government and will have his policies. The only thing we care is that any program done by a county government then will have to be approved by the county assembly. So you may not have any guarantees that that program will continue after the sitting governor exits office. It all depends on what the next governor wants to do with the youth. He can retain the same or even have a better program for the youth. One thing I know is that the pressure that the youth continue exerting on those who controlling public resources is such that no government will ever now be allowed or will ever afford to ignore the youth going forward because the pace has been set already. So whoever comes, I think the pressure from the youth and parents will force them to at least have a program for the youth. They may not call it Moraga Youth Service, they could call it something else, but going forward it will be very difficult for any government, national or county, to ignore the youth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'd be doomed to end this interview without asking you, have you officially resigned from UDA?
No. I have not officially resigned from UDA. I have very many problems with the way the party is run, but I think I'll stick there till 2027, and I cannot resign because there are precedents that have been set. You remember, you were around here when the president was deputy president, and he was critical of the government, and basically was only deputy president on paper, but he did not resign. And so I normally tell his people when they tell us to resign from UDA, I tell them I'm learning from your boss, the president. He did not resign even when he differed with government, majorly differed with government, basically in everything, but he remained the deputy president. Joe Nyutu will remain in UDA until 2027. But I can tell you, in 2027, I'll not be vying on a UDA ticket. Yes. Okay. In 2027, I already see and I know I'll be vying on DCP. But for now, I remain in UDA.
Is that two wrongs don't make a right? I don't know.
No, they don't make a right, but you know, we care about this country. Today, if I resigned from UDA, I would subject the people of Moraga to a vote. I mean, which is, of course, I know I would be, if I stood on, I ran on DCP, I would be elected. But then, why would I want to resign and have even the national government spend money that is in short supply in re-electing me? I mean, I would rather remain Senator under UDA and, save the country, the much needed funds that will be expended in carrying out our election in the whole of Moraga, and then save our people the energy and the inconvenience. Of course, if I resign today, Moraga people will not be represented until the ABC calls for an election, which basically will not be less than 3 or so months from now. So the people of Moraga would not be represented in the Senate, and they need a representation in the Senate now more than ever before. Now that there is a violation of human rights and most of these things that need somebody to talk about, at least in the Senate. So it's not about two wrongs not making a right. It's about some other important considerations. About.
But don't you think the drafters of the law foresaw this, and they were
They did, but then what would my resignation from UDA change? UDA would still continue misbehaving the way it is misbehaving. My exit wouldn't make any change. So sometimes you also have to look at to do what we call a CB, cost benefit analysis. I mean, I would just cost the Kenyan taxpayer without giving any benefit to the land. So I would rather wait for 2027. Then I go where my heart is, rather than just like you will find some people are in a broken marriage, but for the sake of the children, maybe the mother decides, let me just stay on, at least so that I do not disrupt my children's education and life. I'm very uncomfortable in this particular marriage, but then for the sake of the kids, let me just stay, though pressed, but let me just say stay. For the sake of my children. So that's what we are doing. I'm just saying for the sake of the Moraga. I mean, for the sake of the Kenyan taxpayer, we do not want them to lose funds. But while we do not have, drugs in hospitals, we have problems with education. We have problems everywhere. Then I subjective. I mean, it will not be a viable option unless I was very selfish. Of course, if I did that and get re-elected, I would be even more very popular. And 2027 would now then be a walkover. If I was, anytime somebody is elected,
you're doing your competitors a favor.
Yes, no, I'm not doing them a favor. But if you look at history, people who are elected through a by-election become very popular because all the eyes in the country go to that constituency. If you allow me, look at Mheshimiwa Kawanjiku. Nobody in Kenya does not know Kawanjiku, and his re-election in 2022 was very easy because he was already very popular. Look at Koingori in Juja when he was elected through a by-election. He became very popular, and it earned him a very easy win in the subsequent election. So that's what I'm saying. It would be very good for me, at least for 2027. But then, why would I make the taxpayer cost? Lose money while it's so badly needed. I wouldn't want to be selfish. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be selfish. That's a good note to end on. Thank you so much for your time, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
Right. That has been Mheshimiwa Joe Nyutu. My name is Gashambi Ndiritu.